It's already been a long day. Fun, 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 fun. Anybody out there today? I know it's probably early for some people, considering fire. Oh, good morning, everybody. Holy wow. Did everybody have fun last night? Everybody still got all their digits? Massachusetts. Oh, nice. Lisa's on. Italian Princess is on. Matt's mom is on. Who else is that? It's Eric and Doris. Hello. I didn't do anything either besides set up an entire fireworks display and launch it all off as scheduled last night for a small town out here in the Northwest. And then when I got done with that, got it all cleaned up, got back in the truck and been driving ever since just to get up to here. And I got to cut back across over in Washington because we're going to Selah, Washington.
In 1.5 miles, keep left to I-205 south, then keep right.
No fireworks at your house, huh? Wow. Now, I saw lots of videos last night coming out of places like Portland, Oregon, for example. Saw lots of videos coming out of here when I happen to be driving through it right now. They had banned fireworks just within the city, right? Everywhere else around's got fireworks. They didn't have a fireworks display set up. They didn't have nothing. And they banned fireworks completely. But I saw plenty of videos last night. The entire city was lit up like you would not believe with fireworks. And every one of them not legal for Oregon because Oregon has this law where you can't have, if you do have fireworks, it can't go more than like a foot off the ground. We're talking about millions and millions of dollars worth of fireworks being launched in every single neighborhood in Portland. That's freedom. That's the people standing up and saying, I don't think so.
Continue on the current road.
Lots of people here this morning. All right. It's nice that I'm finally able to be back on live again because that whole mess I went through. So, let's hear them. Make this change or help fix the problems we've got right now. What can you do? Good morning, silly. My girl's on a long run this morning. I got to deliver a load. I already have one on board that I picked up in Las Vegas on Friday. I don't know nothing about sleep. I don't know nothing about sleep. Some of y'all probably know, but every year I do a fireworks display for a small town. I do a nice big one. And it's under contract, so I do it every year. I came up, set it up, got it going, and cleaned up afterwards. Got back in the truck and got going. So I don't know what you're talking about, sleep. And I have a feeling in the coming days, in the next coming months, even the next coming years, I don't think any of us are really going to get much sleep. Because we are literally spiraling downward as a country. And it is only going to get worse before it gets better. And we're looking at the very beginning of a massive depression, and it's not just here, it's worldwide. So, like I said, what can you do to help correct the path that our country is on? Because it's time for everybody to get active. Everyone. Too many Pepsis. Oh my gosh. See, that's what I was worried about last night, driving so late. And then, all the way up to this morning, I'm still worried a little bit about some of these people in their cars having a little too many Pepsis last night. Some of them probably still on their Pepsis. I see that Jesse has gone live. That's J_N. Silly can drop his link. Everybody should go over there and throw some paws up, say good morning. uh, about it. To help us turn this country around and go in the right direction. What can you do? I want to hear your answers. I want to see your answers up here. Because I've got lots of answers I could give you, but that would defeat the purpose. I want you to think, what can you do? Yancey, too old for the pain afterwards. I don't know nothing about no pain. Nice, silly. See, that's one thing. That's one thing. Don't stop doing that. Every chance you get. Getting a little chilly this morning. 57 degrees. It's actually pretty nice feeling. Yeah, breathing is much better. Breathing is much better. '87 in Phoenix. You're going to get hot today. It's going to be hot in Phoenix today. I'm glad I'm not down there right now. There's your freedom flags, babe. There's your freedom flags. Yes. Everybody loves seeing flags flying, right? Yeah, everybody should, but you got to remember this is the Portland and Vancouver area. Right now we're in Vancouver, coming out of Vancouver up into Battleground area, but yeah, a lot of people that would fly flags up here are too scared to, because this area up here is Antifa Central. Yeah, we got to go over to Selah, Washington. That's spelled Selah. After that, I don't know what I'm doing. Get around this guy here. There we go. Well, I am in Washington State, coming up out of to help the right direction. What can you do as yourself? Because it's time for every single person in this country to become active, one way or another. Hey, good morning, Let Freedom Ring. Got any idea, Let Freedom Ring, what people can do to become more active in things that they can do to help turn this country back around and head it in the right direction? What do you think? Because it is now time for everybody to stand up and do something. Yeah. Teaching your grandson to yell freedom, huh? They're building more. Oh my gosh. That casino over here just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Yeah. You're vaccine injured. Wow. Sorry about that. You've got a computer. You got a computer and a printer. You can print up flyers and get them distributed all throughout your area to everybody. Get out there and put them on, when you're at the grocery store, walk through and put them underneath everybody's windshield wipers. Stuff like that. And at the very least, get them printed up and have somebody else do it for you. Like little informational flyers. That helps. It's like myself, I'm doing this live stream. And we talk about it. And one of the big things I talk about the most on here, and Silly will probably drop it down there. There she did. She already did. Hashtag no more third terms. We do not vote for any single politician in any one particular seat that has had 2 or more terms in that seat anymore. It is time to get rid of the old guard. It is time to bring fresh blood in and keep fresh blood in. For 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20 terms, they are the problem. They are what brought us here. And it's time to stop. It is time to enforce term limits again. And since we'll never get a politician to write the bill and they'll never vote on it and pass it, it's time for us to use our vote. And it's time for everybody to spread the word. Hashtag no more third terms. Right. Hashtag no more third terms. Term limits for the swamp. See, the thing is, you're never going to get a politician to write a bill and pass the term limits back into law. They got rid of them themselves without asking us in the first place. So we need to vote like we're using our vote as a term limit. If they've had 2 terms in that seat, don't vote for them again. If they're running for a different seat, that's a different story. But if they've had 2 terms, vote them out. Don't vote for anybody that's had 2 or more terms. Period. Yep. I think we need to help get this country turned back around and headed in the right direction. And in order to do so, we need to stop looking for things outside of our own country. We need to stop buying products from outside of our own country. We need to start forcing manufacturing to be back in this country. We need to become fully self-reliant in this country, and then at that point start looking around the world. But for right now, we need to fix us here. Exactly. Unity in numbers. Now, when you're talking unity in numbers, I don't see this movement. I don't see us being successful until we accept everybody. Matter if they don't believe in the same form of Christianity as you. It doesn't in the same type of religion as you. It doesn't matter if they don't believe in the same ideologies as you. It doesn't matter what they look like, where they come from, what their backgrounds are. The fact line shoulder to shoulder with you, wanting and demanding and screaming for the same things. So do not deny them. You may not like them, you don't have to. You just have to trust that they're standing next to you on the same battlefront. You need to keep your ideas and things to yourself about who and what that person might be. Because excluding any one particular person is never good. When we need everybody involved, there's no just because you don't like the way they worship, or you don't like the way they talk, or you don't like where they came from. Because this movement will take everybody if we're going to succeed. Good morning, Kimberly. How are you? This movement, see, you've got people like Antifa painting this movement as all conservative, 100% racist people, white racist, white supremacist, racist people. It's not. This isn't a left movement. It's not a right movement. It's not a Trump movement. This movement is a freedom for the people movement. Doesn't matter left or right, and it doesn't matter what your political views are. You want and believe in the same rights that were given in the Bill of Rights, in the Constitution. You want that. Everybody does. Everybody wants it. Everybody deserves it. thing is, it doesn't matter what your political views are. It doesn't matter what your religious views are. None of that matters. Not in this fight. The other thing that people need to remember when they're doing this, when they're being part of this fight, if you do not have something good to say about somebody, keep it to yourself. Period. Stop being the people that spread the rumor. Stop being the people that put the information out there that goes against somebody within the group. Because the more that people do that, the smaller the groups get. Because you're literally forcing those people out. It's not a popularity contest. It's not a strive for control of any one particular group. We're trying to move forward in the name of freedom for the people. Good morning, Sherry. Thank you for posting that up there. Thank you. And don't forget, hashtag no more third terms. Wow. I just had to turn. Gonna have to stop up ahead here in a bit and get something to drink because I am out of fluids in the truck. So, Sherry, one thing I want everybody else's they can do to help move this country around into the right direction. Because it doesn't matter if you're stuck at home. It doesn't matter if you're disabled. It doesn't matter if you're elderly. It doesn't matter if you don't have the means to travel. There are things that you can still do. And I want can do. Because I want them to start thinking about it and I want them to start doing it. Yeah, we need to continue reminding the politicians that they work for us. That's one thing, but that cannot be done in Washington, D.C., in my opinion. In my opinion, that needs to be done at the state levels because they work for your state. They represent your state in Washington. Going to Washington doesn't really do much of anything. Everybody needs to go to their states. The pressure that you put on your local school board, on your city hall, on your county seats, the more pressure you put there on those people, the more pressure gets put on the people that reside on the seats in Washington, D.C. Right. Nothing comes up on Facebook because I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook. If you want to start seeing hashtag no more third terms come up in Facebook, start sharing my videos. Even my old ones on my old account, if they're still up. Share my videos, especially when I talk about no more third terms. You can even write your own little thing, a description on what it means. No more third terms means no more voting for any politician in any one seat. That is time for us to limit them to 2 terms per seat by using our vote. It doesn't matter who you vote for. I don't care if you're voting on the left side or the right side. The biggest thing that people need to understand is it's not a left side or a right side. It's only one agenda. Doesn't matter. There are no parties. There really aren't. There's a system set up where they act like there's a party on this side and a party on that side that are against each other, right? They put on a great show, especially in the media. They put on a great show and they use any opportunity they can to make themselves look good and look like they're actually fighting on that one side. But in reality, they're not. They're all pushing one agenda forward. When the left side has things that might be good for the people of the country and they're trying to pass it through, it never passes through. When the right side has the same thing going on, it never passes through. But everything that's bad for the people of this country just gets passed right through. It's one agenda that they are both pushing. So when it's time to vote, first thing you do is you take any politician that has had two or more terms and you cast them aside. Don't even bother looking at them. Then go through both sides, go through all of the candidates, research them, do your research on them, find out their voting records, find out what agenda that they've been running under, find out everything that is public record. You can get their tax information, everything. All of that, and you make your own decision on who best of this country at the time. And that is who you vote for. Voting down party lines does not work. And voting for anybody that has had more than 2 terms in any spot doesn't work. I mean, look at it. You guys, everybody's voted for Pelosi and Schumer and, and Kerry, and you got Mitch McConnell's been in there for God knows how long. You got all of those politicians that have been in there 40, 50 years or more. And they're not going to give up their seats unless we force them out. And they are the ones that have made the problem. All right, Sherry, I do appreciate you putting that information up, but I do want you to space them out a bit because I want to be able to see the other people in the comment strains. How many people you've got a printer, you can print up flyers, you can print up all kinds of informational flyers, you can even design your own, print them up, and Just a second here. It's a beautiful drive up. It's too bad that I know when I go to cross the mountains to get back over onto the east side of the state, I'll lose my signal the whole way. Because that is a beautiful drive for everybody to see too. Yeah, good morning, David. Hashtag no more third terms. Yeah, the other thing, you know, you're not going to find hashtag no more third terms on Facebook, mainly because I don't have a Facebook. The other reason is, well, Facebook doesn't want you to hear it, so they're blocking it. So share my videos on Facebook. And when you share them, make sure you put in hashtag no more third terms in the comment that you're sharing it with. Or in your post, you know, put it in your post, hashtag no more third terms. Come on, people now. Like how that guy waited until we were on a hill to pass that truck. Slowed me down quite a bit. Yeah. Which state is her home state? Is it Washington or is it Oregon or is it Idaho or Utah or Nevada? What's her home state? That is true. That is true. People will watch a I just haven't thought about it until now, as far as, you know, making a shorter video. I do plan on doing it. So her home state's Washington. So's same here. I grew up on the east side of Washington State. And I watched this state go downhill very fast as far as politically. The taxes that have been imposed, the other laws that have been put in place restricting so many things, and the price of everything going sky high in this state. I've watched it happen. When I got my first job here in Washington State, my very first job was minimum wage, and it paid $2.20 an hour. And what's minimum wage in Washington State now? You wonder why the cost of everything is so high. Nobody understands what it's like to get up at 2 in the morning just so you can go out and pick asparagus before it gets too hot in the day. All right. There we go. Ah, gold bar. All right. See, I grew up in between Connell and Othello, Washington. Yeah. I'll bet when they passed that $15 an hour minimum wage, they didn't expect their rent to go up instantly or the price of a gallon of milk to go up instantly, did they? No, they wouldn't listen to us when we tell them that that was going to happen. No, it's not supposed to work that way. Well, guess what? Yes, it does. If you got to pay a person more, you got to charge more for the product that they're making. That's plain and simple. And when it comes to rent, oh my.
Take the ramp ahead.
There's actually no reason for the rents to have to go up just because minimum wage went up. But it happens every time. Every time. Just like some areas pass that $15 an hour minimum wage, but they did it in such a way that it would go up in increments per, like every 6 months or once every year. It would raise a little bit more and a little bit more until it gets to that $15 an hour mark. The problem is everybody raised their prices instantly on everything up to what it would be if it was at $15 an hour. All right. I'm going to run inside and I'm going to grab some drinks for the day. I will be back out in a minute. Sid, make sure they stay okay. Make sure they stay all nice and everything in the chat, all right, Sid? My buddy Sid, he's going to be in charge, all right? I'll be back. You'll probably still hear me inside the store, but that's because I'm wearing a wireless microphone. All right. Fun, fun, fun. Thank you, sir. There we go. Y'all, I'm better. I guess when I walk too far away, the mic automatically turns itself off. There. Can y'all hear me better now? They don't, they didn't have my tea in there. Apparently, they don't even carry it. I like the Gold Peak tea. They've got gold. They've got the pure leaf tea, but I don't like that one because it's got an acidic flavor to it.
Continue on I-5.
But I got some other things to drink for now through the day. I'll put my sunglasses on. Woof. There we go. Now I can see the road better, but I can't see the screen. Oops. Well, in 10 more miles, I'll be headed off across the mountains to the east side of the state. It's a beautiful drive. I'll see about recording it on there. Oh, these guys shouldn't be doing that. 3 wide on there. Well, can y'all hear me now? It looks like you can. I see my bar moving now. My sound bar. What? That's what I'd like to know. What is that ticket you're talking about? Are you talking about being all the way over in that left lane? Well, I don't reside in California. AB5 is. I know what AB 2223 was. That was California legalizing abortions up to 28 days after birth. In other words, the baby can be born, and up to 28 days, you can still abort it legally. And people say, well, that's not what it says. Well, you got to really read into it. The coroner can no longer investigate any infant's body for murder or anything like that up to 28 days after birth. So if they can't legally investigate as a criminal activity or a criminal or a crime, they can't investigate a crime against an infant that is under the age of 28 days, then that means a child can be aborted up to 28 days after birth. Don't seem to read the whole bill and understand what it really says. I wonder if this is fog I'm coming into or smoke. Because it's wildfire season again. See, there's another thing about Washington State. So you got that section back there where you had 3 trucks going up the hill side by side, each one trying to pass the next. Okay, granted, it's 3 lanes, right? So the far right lane is literally a merge on and off, but it's also a kind of a climbing lane for that little hill. Now in Washington State, when it's 2 lanes, there's really no restriction on the trucks as to what lane they can be in. But when there's 3 lanes, they claim, the officers in this state claim, that trucks are not allowed in the number 1 lane when it's 3 lanes wide or more, right? Problem is, they have no signage up anywhere in this state that says that. None. And most truck drivers aren't from this state, so they would not know. They've given me a ticket for it before, simply because traffic in the first 2 lanes literally came to a stop for no reason suddenly, and that far left lane was wide open. I didn't have a trailer that day, so I just, instead of trying to keep from hitting anybody, I blew out into that left lane and went right on around it, and then got back over into the right-hand lane. And I still got pulled over. Guy still gave me a ticket, and guess what? I got it thrown out of court because they've got no signage anywhere. Not to mention my dash cam showed what was going on and why I took that left lane in the first place. But the biggest reason it was thrown out of court was because of the fact that they have no signage. And you can argue with the officer on the side of the road saying, you've got no signage that says it. Oh, yes, we do. It's right there when you come into the state. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not posted anywhere. And I was able to prove that also in court with my dash cam footage, that there were no signs that said it. If you're going to have a law like that, you have to have the signage. You can't enforce it without the signage. So, folks, I'll be losing my signal sometime in the next 10 to 15 minutes or less. And I'll be out of signal range till I get to the other side of the mountains. But we're going to go right past Mount St. Helens. Terms. Yeah, it's always going to be like that up here too. They're going to give you no signage. Yeah. Reclassifying contractors as employees. I'm sorry, but that's not a thing. I mean, of course they're making it a thing, but it shouldn't be. I own a business, right? I own this truck. I own a business. I run my trucking company. Yes, I lease on to another company in order to be able to do my business. And yes, that kind of makes me an employee of that company, sort of. But I'm under contract. I still run everything myself. I choose my loads. I negotiate my loads. The whole 9. So I'm still a contractor, no matter which way you look at it. I am not an employee. The people that own the company that I lease onto have no control over me whatsoever. They can't call me up and tell me that I've got to go do something. I mean, well, within reason. I mean, they can call me up and tell me I got to go take my drug test today, you know. But other than that, no, there's not much they can do. Because I'm a contractor. I'm not an employee. And I refuse to be treated or called an employee again, ever. Because by that thinking, I should have to be every day running the loads that they choose for me instead of what I choose. We never had speed limit signs for downhill in Washington State. There was never a lower speed for trucks on downhills in Washington State. In California, there is. A couple of other states there is, but not in Washington. So I've got 2.5 hours to get across the mountains and get to where I got to deliver. Exactly. That's one of the reasons I own my truck. The other reason is I get paid a lot more for what I'm doing. Well, not right now, thanks to the fuel prices up where they are and the freight rates being dropped down bottom, making less than I would if I was a company driver. When the fuel prices are where they're supposed to be and the freight rates are where they're supposed to be, I make a lot more than if I was a company. And we are on our way to Treetop. The Treetop company over there in Selah, Washington. I've got a whole bunch of trailer full of stuff from Ocean Spray that I got to deliver. Delivering in Selah, Washington, yeah, to the Treetop company. You know, the people that make apple juice or whatever. I don't know. It's all kinds of Ocean Spray on there. Yes, David. Trucks all over the country have already been shutting down. Matter of fact, myself, I've got a couple of debts that I need to get paid back before I can even afford. But as soon as I've got them paid back, if these fuel rates are still as high as they are or even higher, I'm going to have no choice but to park the truck. and walk away, at least until the fuel rates come back down. US 12 in Washington State, headed eastbound. Matter of fact, I got a lot of friends right now that have shut their trucks off solely for these the week before the 4th of July, all the way up to almost the end of July. They're shut down on purpose to make a point that the fuel price is too high. Yeah, well, David, right now it seems like every other load costs me more in fuel than what I'm making on it. Most of the brokers will not come up in price. They drop the price up. The time I'll sit there and I'll refuse. I'll tell them, look, this come up to my price, then I won't take their load. That's just plain and simple. But there are areas in this country where you get stuck there if you don't just take one of their cheap junk loads to get out, because everybody in that area thinks that, oh no, we can run it's only $1 a mile. That's all we're going to give you, $1 a mile. Buddy, it takes $2.80 a mile just to run this truck right now. Come on. What do you think, $1 a mile? Seriously. When you think about it, we got our diesel fuel is up almost, just let's call it $6.50 a gallon. Okay, $6.50 a gallon, and the truck gets 5 miles to the gallon. So take that 6.50 and divide it by 5, and that's just the cost of fuel. That's not anything else. That's not the oil I need. That's not, I need a fuel filter. I need a lot of things. That's not my tires. That's not anything other than just my fuel, right? So at $6.50 a gallon, divide that by 5, because it's 5 miles to the gallon on the truck, and you'll figure out how much money it is per mile just in fuel for this truck. Of course they don't. It's part of their plan. The Green New Deal. Remember, we gotta make the gas prices so bad that nobody can use it and force them into electric vehicles. Problem is, they don't even have a semi truck that's an electric truck that can even operate decent enough yet to even work in this industry. But they don't care. They're trying to crush they're trying to crush our economy completely in the first place. That's why your store shelves are going bare. It's all part of their agenda. And And that is why we need to vote out any politician that has had more than 2 terms in for period. I don't care if it's on the left side or the right side. Stop voting for them. Hashtag no more third terms. It's always a beautiful area out here. Roads more than the interstates. I love the back roads. Give me some dirt roads and I'm happy. Brings back my childhood memories. Windshield. Very true, very true, very true. The costs are astronomical. Well, their biggest part of their plan is to make the prices so out of touch, so astronomically high that we can't afford to use it. But they don't have anything in place to back it up. Good luck. It's not going to happen. Even a youth, say it's 5, 6 years old, and you're still looking at 140 used. And they don't have a plan other than to make the fuel prices so high we can't afford to use it anymore. And you got to ask yourself, what is it? Why is it that diesel is more expensive at the gas station than gasoline? Because you think about it. When they pump the oil out of the ground and they put it through a refinery, the first product that is made, the very first product, is diesel. Diesel is closest to the raw form. Gasoline, so they take and refine the diesel out of the oil, right? Then they take the diesel and refine it and make gasoline, which means it takes more effort and work, cost to make gasoline than diesel. So why in the world is diesel more expensive at the pump than gasoline? It should be the other way around. Where it shouldn't. You love your Christmas trees? That's what's out here. All these Christmas tree farms. Eastern Washington. Come later in November. Have a good day, David. Have a good day. Got to get that honey-do list done, right, David? Tell your wife I said hello. I'm just gonna let this go until it dies. You know, if YouTube crashes it, YouTube crashes it. My signal's not that great now, but we'll see. We will see. There we go. I'm in Washington, Lisa. I was in Oregon. Now I'm in Washington on US 12. Headed towards White Pass. Going to go over the mountain onto the east side into Selah, Washington. Oh, see if I can keep a signal for a while. It is a beautiful drive, but not much for signal out here. Oh yeah, nice, nice and slow drive. I'm maximum weight today, literally. If I had stopped and put fuel in my tank, I would have been overweight.